a temptress. She's a siren. She's
Ooh,
lured him into the rocks.
I haven't heard that term in a while. She's a harlot, almost.
She's
The saga surrounding Meghan Markle's latest ventures is a whirlwind of drama, ambition, and public scrutiny that could rival any Shakespearean tragedy. At the heart of it all is her Netflix show, With Love, Meghan, which premiered on March 4, 2025, and quickly became a lightning rod for criticism, memes, and speculation about its future. The show, billed as a lifestyle and cooking series, was meant to showcase Meghan in a new light, a relatable, down-to-earth mom sharing recipes and life advice from her Montecito kitchen. But instead of winning hearts, it sparked a firestorm of ridicule, with critics and viewers alike calling it everything from smug to nauseating. Joe Rogan, never one to shy away from a roast, didn't hold back, labeling Meghan's teary-eyed moments as Oscar-worthy crocodile tears and questioning the authenticity of her entire persona. The internet predictably piled on, with TikTok parodies and scathing reviews painting the show as a tone-deaf vanity project. So, what went wrong? Was it all an act? And is Netflix really pulling the plug? Let's dive into the chaos. The headlines hit like a tidal wave. Meghan Markle's Netflix show was reportedly canceled. Or was it? The rumor mill churned after the show's lackluster debut, with critics describing it as queasy and exhausting, like watching someone desperately try to rebrand as relatable while surrounded by a full production crew and perfect lighting. The show's premise seemed simple enough. Meghan, no longer a working royal, would invite viewers into her world of cooking, gardening, and self-care, all wrapped in an aesthetic so polished it could double as an Instagram filter. Think slow-motion teapots, edible petals, and Meghan twirling through her kitchen like a lifestyle guru who just discovered turmeric. She even ended the season with a whispery, "Here we go." It's a business, as if reminding everyone that this wasn't just a passion project. It was a calculated move to cement her status as a lifestyle mogul. But the audience wasn't buying it. Social media erupted with memes mocking her hosting style, stirring tea like she was inventing fire, planting basil while dispensing whispered life advice, and staring meaningfully into the distance. One viral moment came when Jimmy Fallon, during a late-night segment, questioned why Meghan was hand-making pretzel bags, joking that it was like watching the people's Martha Stewart having an identity crisis. A viewer on X summed it up: watching Meghan rebag pretzels is like watching a Duchess play peasant with a $14,000 kitchen as her backdrop. The internet dubbed it cringe in a genre of its own, with TikTok creators churning out deepfake parodies of Meghan's earnest monologues and suspiciously perfect beach videos. The numbers didn't help her case. Netflix reported that the show pulled in 12.6 million viewing hours in its first week, which sounds impressive until you realize that for someone who claims to be one of the most talked about women in the world, those figures are decidedly mid-tier. For context, blockbuster Netflix shows often hit tens of millions of hours in their opening days, and Meghan's offering barely cracked the platform's top charts. Rumors began swirling that Netflix might let the show fade quietly, no official cancellation, no press release, just a slow ghosting. Adding fuel to the fire, Meghan's PR team insisted that with love, Meghan was alive and well, pointing to Netflix's early greenlight for a second season as proof. But filming a season doesn't guarantee it will air, and industry insiders whispered that Netflix was already sharpening the axe. This wasn't Meghan's first brush with Netflix drama. Back in 2021, her animated project Pearl was quietly axed before it could even get off the ground. Described as a vanity piece about a young girl inspired by historical women, it was scrapped when Netflix decided kids' content wasn't worth the PR headaches. A British author later claimed Meghan had lifted the concept from her books, alleging she got no response when she raised the issue. While Pearl faded into obscurity, With Love, Meghan seemed poised to follow a similar path despite its high-profile launch. Netflix even had to deny rumors that it sent legal threats to a celebrity chef who criticized the show, a sign of just how touchy the situation had become. The show itself is a study in aesthetic excess. Every frame drips with curated perfection. Bees buzzing around wildflower honey, Meghan micro dosing rose salt, and ceramic spoon holders that scream, "I'm relatable," but make it luxury. Critics called it smug, detached, and tone-deaf in an era where most people are budgeting gas money, not curating artisanal jam collections. The British press was particularly savage. The Times dubbed it worse than smug and syrupy, while the Telegraph called it far worse than feared. The New York Post didn't mince words either, labeling it beautiful but boring, vapid, and entitled. One reviewer confessed to feeling physically nauseated watching a clip, and the sentiment echoed across X, where users mocked Meghan's attempt to romanticize the ordinary while surrounded by wealth. Yet, not everyone hated it. Some celebrities and think pieces rushed to her defense, framing the backlash as rooted in racist double standards or unfair expectations. An op-ed argued the show was about romanticizing the ordinary, though it's hard to see how dipping fingers into imported rose salt qualifies as ordinary. Others, like Gwyneth Paltrow, who made a cameo, and Jose Anders, who praised Meghan's charity work, seemed willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. Even a YouTuber defended her when her podcast name, Confessions of a Female Founder, was accused of being copied, calling the plagiarism claims unlikely, but the support felt tepid compared to the tidal wave of criticism. Then there's Joe Rogan, who's been gunning for Meghan and Harry since they swapped royal duties for California dreams. On his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, he's taken every opportunity to skewer them. He mocked Harry as the Duke of Sussex with the sarcasm of someone calling out a guy who insists on being called captain at a costume party. Rogan even floated a half-joking theory that Meghan is the leader of a cult, with Harry as her emotionally kidnapped follower, isolated from his royal roots and wandering friendless in LA, while Meghan builds her empire of jams and pretzel bags. In one episode, he called America's obsession with royalty bizarre, questioning why anyone would fangirl over a family whose ancestors colonized their own. He's also taken aim at Meghan's tearful moments, particularly a recent appearance on Jamie Kern-Lima's show, where she showed up in relatable mom mode, no makeup, kids' names on her shirt, and a well-timed tear as she spoke about proving she's enough. Rogan wasn't buying it, calling her sobs Oscar-worthy, and suggesting it was all a performance. Meghan's tearful moments have become a lightning rod for skepticism. Body language analysts noted her blinking sped up when she mentioned Harry, hinting at discomfort or calculation. The internet dubbed it the Soft Life Olympics, with one ex-user joking, "Meghan, one tear, left eye go. Give me 3 seconds." Her emotional displays, whether on Lima's show or in her infamous 2021 Oprah interview, have fueled accusations that she's playing from a how to cry on camera playbook. That Oprah interview, where she dropped the bombshell about royal family members allegedly questioning how dark her son Archie's skin might be, set off a media firestorm. Sitting in a manicured California garden, dressed like she was starring in a soap opera, Meghan framed herself as a person of color shocked by the monarchy's insensitivity. Oprah's stunned "What?" became an instant meme, but Meghan's refusal to name names left the accusation hanging, fueling speculation without resolution. Harry later clarified it wasn't the Queen or Prince Philip, but the lack of specifics only deepened the mystery. Buckingham Palace's response was a masterclass in evasion. They were saddened, would address it privately, and hoped everyone would move on. But the allegations lingered, unconfirmed and unchallenged, with no royal publicly calling her out. A 2023 Vanity Fair report claimed Meghan privately told King Charles who made the remarks, which raises questions about why she didn't go public if she had the receipts. The same interview saw her reveal suicidal thoughts while still a working royal, claiming a senior staff member offered help only if she left the family, a detail that sounded more like a negotiation than support. The British press pounced, calling her manipulative or exaggerating for sympathy, while Harry warned that history was repeating itself, invoking Princess Diana. Critics, however, pointed out the lack of concrete evidence, arguing her claims relied solely on her narrative. Meghan's forays into politics haven't helped her case. In 2020, she and Harry released a Time 100 video urging Americans to vote in the most important election of our lifetime. Their call to reject hate speech and misinformation was widely seen as a veiled anti-Trump jab, despite their insistence on neutrality. Buckingham Palace scrambled to clarify that Harry was no longer a working royal.